Okay. Are with me? Okay, now, guys.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Ramadan Radio London 87.9 FM. You're listening to Hot Topics with myself, Tamkeen Riaz. It's Thursday, 6 o'clock. Every Thursday we have a program, Hot Topics. Now, today is a very interesting program, one that I've not done before. It's regarding getting involved in politics in the UK and why we should get involved in politics. We have been given the right when we're over 18, as long as we are registered to vote, that we can vote and we should vote. Now, we're not promoting any political party at all. You vote for whoever you want. We will not mention any party's names either. We're going to talk generally about politics. You have been given the right, and please do use your right for whichever party you wish to, but do not waste your vote because, you know, it's taken a long, long time to have this. So on that, my guest today is someone who's been in politics for a very long time. He's a hard worker, mashallah. I've known him and I've helped him in the past for some fundraising events. He's been mayor twice in the London Borough of Sutton. Now, for those of you who don't know, the London Borough of Sutton is more towards Surrey. It's a white area, predominantly very, very white area. And you can imagine it was very difficult for him, but through his hard work and determination, all the parties wanted him to become mayor, and he became mayor. He did a fantastic job. Then he wanted to retire. They wouldn't let him retire. Then again, he was elected mayor for the second time by all the parties. So it gives me great, great pleasure to introduce Councillor Muhammad Sadiq. Assalamu alaikum, Councillor Sadiq.
Wa alaikum salam, Tamkeen Saab. How are you, sir?
Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. I just gave a very, very brief introduction to the many facets that you have. If you can tell them a little bit about yourself, and then what motivated you to get into politics?
Yeah, certainly. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. You know, firstly, thanks for having me on the show. And I know it's 16th, 17th of Ramadan, you know, I wish everyone, all Muslims and everyone who's listening to us, you know, happy Ramadan.
MashaAllah.
How I got into politics was a very, very strange way, to be honest. I was, I think, 6 or 7 years old. I think I'm talking about 1958, when first president of Pakistan, Iskandar Mirza, he obligated Constitution of Pakistan and declared martial law. And I didn't know, I was a youngster at that time. I didn't know what martial law is, you know, what happened. I was 6 or 7 years old. And I started asking my dad, and my dad explained everything to me. And because my dad was a civil servant, he couldn't get involved in politics. And from then onwards, I said, oh, this is a very interesting subject, so I need to get more involved in it. And then I think I started concentrating on my studies. My father said, look, you know, you're too young and carry on. When I was, I think, 13, 14, at that time, one of my neighbors, he contested an election of being a councillor. And I was like, you know, over there, you know, horse-ridden carriages. I was knocking on doors, getting people on doors, taking them to the polling station, bring them back. And to be honest, you know, I felt overwhelmingly pleased that, look, you know, I was helping someone to do something. And then I carried on in politics. You know, I was elected as Secretary General of my college union. It was long time ago, very, very long time.
That was in Lahore, Pakistan.
That was, yeah. I was, and then I carried on. You know, I didn't really join any political party in Pakistan. You know, because my interest was just Pakistan, not any political party. So when I was, I think, 22 years old, I decided to come to United Kingdom. And over here, I looked at it, and at that time, I'm talking about 46, 47 years ago, I didn't see many of our Asians involved in politics at that time, which was very, very disappointing. And I started to get involved in politics. I joined a political party without naming any names. And I worked with that political party for something like 25, 30 years.
Oh.
And, I started off by delivering leaflets, to houses. That's what political parties do over here. Near election or during their term, they tell people what they have done, what they haven't done. And that's how I started. And then I was asked, look, would you like to become a counselor? And I had lots of things on my plate, and I said, no, I just have not got the time. Because if you become a counselor, Tamkeen Saab, you know it very well, you have to work hard. You can't just sit on your backside and do nothing, Otherwise, you will just get elected once, and second time, nobody will vote for you. If you don't work, you don't get elected. And I could not, at that time, I could not justify the role of being a counselor. So I said, no, I don't want to do it. Then I moved from the area and moved into it in London Borough of Sutton. I moved into, and I got approached by another political party. A couple of political party approached me, and I joined one political party, and I started to work hard because I felt really, really wanted. The political party I was in before, in my opinion, I was just a number because it was a big political party. But this political party I joined, it was a small political party, and they really gave me lots of respect. And they wanted me to stand as a councillor. And
what is involved? What is involved in standing as a councillor? How do you get elected?
You have to work very, very hard, to be honest, very, very hard, unless you are in an area which is dominated by a political party. But if you are in an area like Sutton, which is not dominated by any political party, if you work hard, you will get elected.
Oh, that's good.
You go and knock on doors, you deliver. To be honest, yesterday I was delivering, and then I was canvassing all day long. And being an old man, I'm very, very tired now. Again, this morning I went to work, and they went to work, and then I did about 3-hour session knocking on doors again. That is the only way. If you work hard, you will get elected. Hard work will certainly pay.
So what is the election process of getting elected as a councillor? You have to, first of all, join a party, and then you're in a ward, which is an area. If you're going to explain for those people who don't know.
How it is, you put your name forward, and the party, there's always a campaign team, just before the election, there's a campaign team. Campaign team will look at your name, look at what you have done in the past, and you will be interviewed to start with. And if you are a sitting councillor, even then you have to go through an interview. It's a thorough interview. You have to prove to the interviewing people what you have done in the past, that you are still worth to be a councillor. You have to work very, very hard anyway. So after that, once you have the interview, if you have not performed well in your interview, they will give you, say, like 6 months or 3 months. They will say, look, we're going to defer you, and you have to come back after a few months again, and we will interview you again. It's not a straightforward process, And if they are happy with you, if the interviewing panel is satisfied with you that, look, you have performed well, you have done your work, you have delivered leaflets, you have promoted party policies, you have worked to the, party manifesto, then they will, after a few days, they will discuss it. And then after a few days, they will say to you, look, you have been selected to stand. They won't tell you in which area. They will still not tell you in which area. They will say to you, you have been selected to stand as a candidate for us, but it will be decided by the campaign team later on in which area you will be standing. So you don't know. you as a sitting councillor, you expect to stand in the same vote, but it's not necessarily they could put you in any other vote which they want to. You are asked, do you have any preference? Obviously, as a sitting councillor, I would say yes, I want to stand in my own vote, but that is not, how should I put it? It's up to the campaign team. They will decide where they're going to put you eventually. But it is beneficial for them, and it is beneficial for the party, and it is beneficial for you if you stand in the same vote where you have done work.
Excellent. And then when you stand in the ward, the local ward members also then vote, because there may be other people standing in the ward?
Yeah. You put your name forward, and the local ward members, a ward meeting is held, and you have a presiding officer, independent people. Sometimes they come from the head office, sometimes they are local people who have nothing to do with you, in a sense. So they're impartial. So that they if there are 2, 3, if you are the only candidate, then obviously you are selected. But if there are 2, 3 other candidates for the same vote, then obviously these people will interview you. The voting will take place. And if more people vote for you, it's not as easy as you think, okay, I'm going to get through. If more people will vote for you, you will get through. But if people think that you are not fit to do the job, if you haven't performed well, your members will not vote for you, and you will be deselected.
Absolutely.
Luckily, I've not been in that position so far.
No, mashallah, everyone in the South London, mashallah, knows you, probably the whole of London, and all 32, is it 32 mayors in
London boroughs,
London boroughs. So we've got some elections coming up on the 5th as well, and that's why you've been canvassing and working hard in your local area. So were there any issues in your ward or your area that also motivated you, or that you've helped with and resolved?
Tamkin Saab, when I went for an interview, my first interview, I was asked, why do you want to become a councillor? And my answer was to help the community, not only Asian community as a whole, could be black people, could be green, brown, white, whatever, to help the community. I was asked anything else. I said, no, to help the community, and to help the community, And my interviewing panel, they were very, very impressed. I said that's what I want to do. That's what has motivated me to become a councillor.
Very good, to help the community. Now, what sort of issues do you deal with on a daily basis from your residents or from the party, so that people get an idea? What sort of
any local issues, as a local councillor, you have more clout than the local member of parliament, because
really?
Local member of parliament will still go through the procedure, but as a councillor, we have a dedicated line. We send an email to them, but they are given about 10 days to reply back to us. But normally you will get a reply back the next day. And whatever issue you have put forward, local council officers will get in touch with you to resolve those issues to the best of their ability and within the constitution. Nobody can bend the constitution. Whatever standing orders we have, you have to work within those standing orders. I can only request on behalf of my residents, but final decision is always made by the council officers.
Okay. Issues that I have come across very, very regularly is fly tipping, bins, streets, lighting, parking as well. Is it similar in your borough as well?
Yeah. Every borough has the same issues because of the austerity. There have been lots of cuts by the central government. Not with London Borough of Sutton. I think every borough has suffered. Yes. Croydon, Merton, Kingston, every borough has suffered. And because of that, and the Brexit hasn't helped. I'm not being political because lots of HGV drivers have gone back. I'm talking about rubbish collection. We have this company and they are really, really short of drivers. Even I was canvassing today and people told me their rubbish should have collected on Monday, but still hasn't been collected. But the procedure is that even as a councillor, I have to go onto our website, London Borough of Sutton website, register my complaint over there that, look, my rubbish hasn't been collected. And then I will get a reference number. I get that reference number on behalf of the residents. If residents, I encourage residents to report it online. If they don't do it, and some elderly people, they say, look, I'm not very familiar with the website, I will do it on their behalf. I will get the reference number and I will send that reference number to our members' inquiry. And I will say, look, the rubbish hasn't been collected, should have been collected on Monday, should have been, and it's Wednesday or Thursday. You can only report it after 48 hours. If your rubbish hasn't, I beg your pardon, you can only report it within 48 hours and you can't report it before 6 o'clock because 6 o'clock is a sort of cut-off time. If your rubbish hasn't been collected, say on Monday, you can only report it on our website after 6 o'clock.
On Monday.
On Monday. Okay. And you must report it within 48 hours, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. If you leave it too late, computer will not allow you to report it. Okay. And I get that reference number. Sometimes residents will send me reference number. And that's where as a councillor, you have a little bit of clout. You will send an email to the relevant department and say, look, why their rubbish hasn't been collected. And they will make extra effort to go and collect it because if you have put your report, it will be dealt with. I'm not saying it won't be dealt with. It will be dealt with, but it might take a little bit longer because we have sort of hotline and we send an email direct to the department. So they deal with it much quicker than if a resident has reported.
Excellent. So that's a really big job for the councillors. Everyone will be phoning, email, ringing. Also, you have to be members of certain committees or do extra. So, mashallah, you and a lot of people that I know are full time. You have your own work, your own businesses that you deal with, and yet you do all this extra work. And then on top of that, you are members of committees as well. So which sort of committees have you been involved in?
There are two types of system. One is executive system, one is committee system.
Right.
In London Borough of Sutton, we have committee system. As so many London boroughs, they have executive system. Right. I'm not very keen on executive system because if you are a blue-eye person, you will get elected as as an executive of certain. But in committee, our members, they will vote for you. If there are 2-3 people, we have various committees. We have housing committee, we have environmental committee, we have people's committee, we have the planning committee, we have licensing committee. We say you name it, we have lots of committees, and it is very, very time consuming, and you need to know what you are doing. When I got elected, because I've been a school governor and I've been chair of an independent admission appeal panel. So what party decided to do? They asked me if I would take on position as vice chair of families education committee, because of my background. And I did that one my first year. Then I got elected as a mayor. Then after that, I was vice chair of the planning committee. Then I got elected as a mayor again. And then I was chair of the licensing committee. At present, I'm a member of so many different committees. Now I'm chair of cemetery board. And if they think that you are capable of doing this, they put you on those committees, and either you become chair or vice chair of those committees.
Excellent. So you've done a lot of hard work, and I know for a fact you have, because I've been working with you in the past and helping, especially on your charity front. What about the mayor? How do you become a mayor? And mashallah, you've been mayor twice.
I've been one of those people, I've been lucky enough to have been nominated by my colleagues.
Right.
You can put your name forward if you want to be mayor. or anybody else from your group can put your name forward for you to be mayor. And I haven't had any competition. You know, I've been lucky enough. I've been elected, say like unopposed. But
when you were
can,
elected, was it all parties or is it the ruling party?
No, it is only normally in majority of time. I'm not saying 100%. In majority of times, you know, it's the ruling party which will select a mayor.
Right.
They can select from the opposition party as well, but ruling party must agree to it.
Okay.
You know, because there was a mayor from another party in Westminster. Westminster is always one party.
Yes.
But 2019 and 2020, the mayor was elected from a different party.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, same with London Borough of Merton, 1920. You know, it was a different political party who was in majority, but mayor was from another party. You know, but in London Borough of Sutton, mayor has always been from our party,
Right.
and it's our people. Say like, you know, the other councillors, they will vote for you if there is more than one candidate. Voting will take place, and this is a secret ballot. It's not show of hand. It's a secret ballot.
Okay.
It's a secret ballot, and whoever will get more votes will get elected.
Right. Now there are two types of mayors. One has a lot of authority,
Yeah.
and one is just a ceremonial mayor. So what? So you have someone like the London mayor who has a lot of authority, and then you have ceremonial mayors. But I'm in Croydon, and we've had ceremonial mayors, but now they've changed over to have an executive, and I think Lewisham and other boroughs as well. So there is quite a difference in the mayors as well.
The ceremonial mayor, like I think about 5 or 6 London boroughs have directly elected mayor, like you elect Sadiq Khan.
Yes.
You know, and those directly elected mayors, they deputize their work, ceremonial work, to another mayor, you know, who becomes a ceremonial mayor, because they have too much on their plate.
Right.
If majority of London boroughs have a council leader, and then a ceremonial mayor. Ceremonial mayor will go and attend all the events in whole of London or locally. You know, whatever events are there, you are invited. Your secretary will look at your diary, and then she will decide if you are free. She will have a meeting with you, and you will decide if you want to go to. Because long time ago, Mr. Tamkin, you know, mayors used to have plenty of money. You know, entertainment allowance used to be really, really huge. But with austerity, the allowance has cut down a lot. You know, so what they normally do, I was in charge of a task and finish group, that what a mayor can do in London Borough of Sutton. So I had to cut so many tasks. It was tasked that, look, you know, Sutton mayor will only be able to go out of London Borough of Sutton if it's relevant to the local residents. Or you can go to, say, we chose 5 local boroughs. So you can go to Croydon, you can go to Kingston, you can go to Merton, you can go to Epsom, you can go to Richmond, you know. But if you want to go somewhere else, you must have solid grounds, because there's a limited transport allowance. Some London boroughs have their own drivers, but in London Borough of Sutton, we have limited transport allowance, and it's up to you to manage that allowance, how you manage it. Indeed, you have to attend certain events, say like, you know, you go to London Mayor's events, you know, you have to attend those events. You have to go to some other mayoral events. You have to attend those events, but you have to manage how you do it.
Yes, as you say, there's a limited budget, then there's a driver, there's a security, your chain, you know, the gold chain that you have, you can wear it in certain boroughs. Sometimes you have to get permission before you wear it to another borough. There's lots and lots of things. So the program, you have explained, mashallah, very, very well what is expected of a councillor. So thank you for that. And it's a lot of hard work. And you know, you've done a great job, and you still are doing a great job.
Thank
so
you.
how do we get the youth interested in politics and to become councillors and then in the future mayors and MPs so they can help the general society? How do we get them involved?
We have always, have made this point. Look, we are getting on a bit.
Yes.
We're not going to be around forever.
Yeah.
So, but for us to represent our community, we need youngsters to come forward.
Yes.
In certain areas, youngsters are coming forward, but not enough. Not enough. If you go to this meeting, you will only see grandies like me, over there. You hardly see, you hardly see any youngsters. And we encourage all our youngsters, but youngsters have their own agenda. They want to enjoy their life while they're young, because once they get into politics, it's a big commitment. If you're not going to fulfill your commitment, it's very rewarding. If you have served your community, I think I personally, if I've served my community, I can sleep well. If I've helped somebody, it doesn't matter, whether they're my community, which community, if I've managed to get somebody a house, or I've managed to get them on top of the housing list, I've helped somebody. That gives me satisfaction. But youngsters, my request to all youngsters, whoever is listening, is please put your name forward. It is hard work. It's not easy. It's not bed of roses. You will have to work hard, but rewards are great. If you work hard, rewards are great.
Yeah, most councillors do have a job. I don't think there's many councillors or who don't have something else that they do. So how do they balance that?
Majority of meetings take place in the evenings.
Right.
It is from 7 o'clock onwards. So, but long time ago, because meetings used to take place during the day, and even at night time, if meetings took place at night time, they would go on till 2 o'clock in the morning. I used to attend meetings in the London Borough of Wandsworth. Meetings would go on till 2 o'clock in the morning, and not many people were interested. So what it is now, cutoff point is 10:30. We start 7 o'clock. Our meeting must finish by 10:30. Planning committee meeting, full council meeting, but if a decision has to be made, that meeting can be extended by the agreement of both parties by maximum of 15 minutes. Or if when we had these online meetings, what we used to do, we used to agree that because of the online meetings, we used to agree, but both parties, opposition and the ruling group, have to agree. Both parties would agree that, look, meeting could go on till, in that case, you have to suspend standing orders. Constitution needs to be suspended. So you suspend, mayor will make an announcement that, look, both parties have agreed to suspend standing orders, so meeting could go on till 11 o'clock. But normal cutoff point is 10:30. That is to accommodate all those people who go to work the next morning.
Understood. And how many meetings approximately a month are there that you have to attend, either in the council chambers, but obviously in the last few years it's been Zoom, but how many roughly do you have? Do you have to go to the council chambers, or is there a different place you go to? I think, Sadiq Saab, you're frozen at the moment, so I'll just carry on. So we're speaking to Councillor Muhammad Sadiq from London Borough of Sutton. He's been telling us how he got involved in politics and was liked it when he was back home when he was 4 or 5, and then when he became a teenager, and then eventually he came here to the UK, and then from here he was asked to join some parties. He didn't have the time, but later on he did have the time and he joined. Then later on he moved, and then the new area that he moved into was Sutton, and then from Sutton he became a councillor there, and then was elected mayor twice, and he was just explaining the procedure of what was happening. So I'm not sure if we can get Muhammad Sadiq Saab back, and if we can't, then I'm sorry to say we'll have to end the program there. But what the gist of the program was that we should encourage the youth and others younger than ourselves, and those if you're elder, you want to become a counsellor and work hard. We encourage people from different backgrounds to come forward, and especially I think young Asians and especially young Asian Muslims should try their best to participate in these events. So I think we're going to call it a day here. It's 6:38. So we've had 38 minutes approximately. So is that okay if we stop the program now? If we can't get back? Otherwise, I can just carry on speaking. So you're listening to Ramadan Radio London, 87.9 FM. We're also on the web, on Android and other media, including Facebook and YouTube. The phone number, if you've got any questions that you'd like to ask, is 077 614 60 614. Also, the studio number is 0203 621 7590. So on that, it says 6:40. I'd like to say thank you very much for listening. Much appreciated. And my thanks to Muhammad Sadiq Saab, Councillor of the Royal Borough of Sutton, and was elected mayor twice in the London Borough of Sutton. So thank you very much. Inshallah, we'll see you again soon. Inshallah, next Thursday, I have Professor Dr. Humayun Dar speaking about Islamic finance. And the program will actually go into some examples of how Islamic finance differs from conventional finance here in the UK. On, for example, mortgages or loans or buying a car the Islamic way, if possible. And he will be explaining the reasons why Islamic finance is much more appropriate for Muslims, because, you know, we try and our very best living in this country not to pay riba, which is interest. It's against our beliefs. And then he will be explaining about Islamic finance. So Jazakallah khair for listening. Thank you very, very much to Muhammad Sadiq Saab, Councillor of the Royal Borough of, Councillor of London Borough of Sutton. Jazakallah khair, and inshallah see you next Thursday, 6 o'clock.